ambition. My ambition.
Ambition.
Yeah, go Alex. Come to the dark side. Love it.
Hello,
Welcome back,
everybody.
guys. Welcome. It's been a while since we've done this.
It has. It really
Yeah,
has. You've won
yeah.
me over with shouting ambition.
Love
I'm
it. We just did
feeling
some beats.
ill, but I'm feeling upbeat.
That's the spirit. We've got to find a balance somewhere, right?
Yeah. I'm Alex.
And
We've forgotten how to
Tiffany.
do this.
I know, right? I know, because we haven't had a solo episode, I think, in like 6 or 7 episodes. So, you forget.
Yeah. Well, welcome, everybody. It's really nice to just be here with Tiffany.
I think so
As
as well,
much as I
yeah.
love our guests,
I
I'm really
know.
happy to just be chatting to you today.
Yeah, likewise. It's been a while, and so much has happened, guys. I know we are now 55 episodes in, so it's been a journey.
It's a pretty big milestone, that. It really is,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it really is. When we think about the fact that one day we were on episode 1,
We're
um,
doing all right.
I think we are. I think sometimes it's okay to let yourself know that. So I think with this episode, we just want to talk about the milestones, how far we've come, mindset, and everything that's sort of happened recently.
And I can't believe it's only sort of February. It feels like a lot's already happened this year, don't you think?
Definitely. I think it kind of becomes a bit of a blur. I remember like, whenever I'm back at work on Monday, people say, "Oh, what have you done this weekend?" I'm kind of like, I don't know, probably just something with the children and I don't know, just park, stuff.
There's only so much you can say about the park, isn't there?
I mean, unless we go away somewhere, it's kind of a pleasant one. But look, guys, we're going to bring some good energy today. Don't worry. We recently, guys, you ready for it? Recently reached 1,000 followers on LinkedIn.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! So this is a celebratory episode. It's one that we're just going to reflect and just kind of talk about just everything that we've been up to recently and just the fun we're having in the journey we're on.
Yeah, because we've had a lot going on, haven't we? In terms of we've both had toddler birthdays. Are they still toddlers? Are they preschoolers now? Is that what we call them?
Preschooler sounds American. I'm not sure. Is that
Are
not
they still
American?
toddlers then? Okay, we'll call them
Toddlers.
toddlers.
We both
So
have
yeah, we've
toddlers
had
now.
toddler birthdays, haven't we? We've got
Yeah.
4-year-olds.
What's that like, eh?
Tiring, really
Yeah.
tiring.
They're like I feel like they're opinionated now. And that's a little bit scary when they can tell you things or they can, kind of come up with opinions about things. You're like, oh,
Like Ted will say things like, "Daddy's being rude to me." Like, he's
oh.
not really. He's asking you to tidy up. That's not being rude.
But yeah, they're kind of speaking their minds. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to see how they are and what they're becoming. Yeah, it's a little bit scary as well because I think it's just like how time flies as well. I remember them being like babies and now they're here. And before you know it, they'll be 10.
Yeah, I mean, school is so close. I mean, you probably feel like you're already in school because you're doing the
I
kind
do
of
too.
school
And the
nursery,
uniform, yeah.
whereas I haven't hit that milestone yet of uniform and going every day. Like,
That's
that's going to be a
true.
crazy thing.
Yeah, I know, but it's what's coming. But I think what was really nice for me, I think especially is that recently, so guys, we've got a guest coming up. I'm not going to say her name yet because, it's better to say it when she attends, right? But we spoke with the guest who has grown up children. And that was so incredible. I think when you're at the phase that we're in now, it's so intense. We don't see beyond here. But speaking to someone whose children are grown up, she's been there, done that. I think it just gave me a little bit of confidence that, hey, girl, you're doing all right. And this will pass very soon. So I don't know. If it's possible to lean in more than we are, I'm going to try and lean in more.
And enjoy it.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I know that's not always possible. And I think
No.
that the thing that all people with grown up children say to you of like, enjoy every moment.
And
But
you're
you're
like,
like,
really? Really? Like that? What do you mean? Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sat on the floor all the time, changing nappies all the time. Like, how am I gonna, yeah, but
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, Ted told me I was the only one who he wanted to wipe his bum because he loves me so much, and I was like, well, if that's the case, surely someone else should be doing this.
Oh,
Like,
dear. Oh.
thanks.
But I think what I also find interesting is just the way they love us at this age. It's very pure and
Hmm.
beautiful. And before you know it, it will become quite, not tainted, but it will become quite, they'll be able to say, like, oh, I don't like you because I'm upset with you. But I realize, I don't know if you've noticed that the innocence is still there. So my son, I would
Hmm.
tell him off, and then he almost doesn't, he'll be frustrated, but he still loves me in that moment. But I
Hmm.
realize that in a few years' time, they'll be able to maybe say they don't like you or say something
Yeah,
quite
get a bit more
hurtful.
attitude.
Yeah, I think so. And it's such a shame when that innocence is gone and they actually can see you as you are and and say maybe
An
hurtful things.
imperfect human.
Yeah, oh, what? You're imperfect, mommy. Because I was saying that my son loves trains, and he's thin. I've realized the way he describes me and his love for me, it's like he calls me the royal train. And that's his way of saying, I know. And I thought that, so he said, Mommy, you're the royal train, you carry the queen. And that's his way of saying that, I'm a big deal, Mommy, you're the boss. So I was like, oh, that's nice. But I mean,
That's cute.
yeah, just the innocence, right, of his kind of the way he sees me as the train. But yeah, that's the phase we're in.
That's really sweet. That is funny. Um, yeah, I mean, it is really funny that they're starting. Well, like they've just got such nice little personalities at
Yeah,
this
they do.
stage.
They do.
And they are, like you say, really innocent, but starting to have their own opinions, their
Yeah.
own ways of doing stuff. Um, so I posted about this week. Ted has discovered how to, well, nursery have taught him how to put his coat on independently by putting it upside down on the floor and then flipping it over his head. And I've never seen anything like it. Like, it's pretty cool.
Hmm.
But he's very much in that stage of, no, I can do it. I'll do it
Yeah.
myself, which is, it's great and it's cute seeing them being so independent, but you're also like, this takes a lot longer.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's the patience to just kind of
Hmm.
let them maybe make mistakes rather than the way you do it quickly. Let's put
Hmm.
shoes on quickly. I'll take 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's just been a bit patient and holding back because I think ultimately, as hard as it is for me to even admit, what we're trying to develop in our children is the ability to think, is the ability to make
Hmm.
decisions, the ability to have like a framework for life rather than telling them what to do. Because I always think if we tell them what to do, which is what I want to do, guys, I'm not going to lie about that. I want to tell them what to do. I want to tell them how to think. They won't know how to. And when they come up with a new situation in life as they get older, they won't have a
Hmm.
framework in place. So I think as hard as frustrating it is for us sometimes, we do have to kind of let them maybe not know how to do it and learn. And it's slower,
Hmm.
but it's just that journey they need to go on. Yeah.
I think it's leaving that extra time as well.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
it's on us to kind of plan that in, isn't it? Of like, right, getting ready currently takes a good 15 minutes longer than it does when I'm helping you get dressed.
Yeah.
But let's build that 15 minutes in so you can do it yourself. And we talk so much about confidence and how that's really important to like being who you are and getting what
Mm.
you want in life. By letting them know that they're capable and allowing them the time to do it, you're building their confidence. You're helping them be independent, aren't you?
I think so. And kind of like not shielding them for everything because we want to shield them. We want to kind of, because when I look at my life and how I grew up, and I mean, as bad as it is now, all the things that I look back on then, I thought, I wish I had easy upbringing, or I wish I didn't have to wash my own uniform or anything like that. But those things are actually things I'm grateful for now, even though at the time I thought, oh man, I'm calling social services. but but I do think there's this element of like you can't shield them from everything. And sometimes, the suffering or the challenges we go through in life, as long as they're not, catastrophic, I do think at some point they build something in us. And the other day I was giving an example. So when my son goes into nursery, there's a section where they take off their coats. And we used to be able to all go in there, all the parents will rush in and help them.
Hmm.
And it got to a stage where they kind of said, the kids will do themselves. But parents can't have the option to go in, but I don't because I just thought, why would I keep doing that, right? If he can do it himself.
Hmm.
And the other day, the grandparents dropped my son off, and then they were saying how at one point he was squashed against all the kids, and then obviously grandma ran in and helped him, and she was telling me about it. And I think she was a bit like, almost like I felt sorry for him, but I kind of felt, well, he's safe. It's not like he's hurt. Like there's no blood or
Hmm.
anything. It's just been, maybe squashed in the middle of the kids. And I actually thought, if I ever see that, I'm not going to help him from that, because as
Hmm.
much as I want to protect him, what am I doing in that moment? Not letting him figure out how to get out of a quandary.
Yeah, or like just ask people to move
Yeah, exactly.
or.
Being able to be able to move, yeah. But I think grandparents obviously have that extra cotton wool as well. So
Hmm.
it's kind of letting them know that they'll be okay even if they get a little boo boo, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, but that's hard
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely is. And like while we're talking about milestones, so like just before we got on this call, talking about things that are hard, it's actually 3 years to the day since Ted had his operation, which to me is still a big deal. It's like still in the forefront of my mind, but actually we haven't even talked about it at home. I haven't said anything to Ted about like it's the anniversary of your surgery or anything like that. He knows he had the surgery. He knows he's got a scar on his side. He knows he only has like part of his left lung. But we haven't really talked about that milestone. But I guess we don't need to, because that milestone is mine, of putting my child through a fairly major operation. Having part of your lung removed is a lot, especially because it was done in the Freeman Children's Heart Unit. It's like the cardiothoracic unit, which you're surrounded by children who have got really, really serious, they're waiting for heart transplants and stuff like that. Being on that ward is a lot. And the whole journey from his birth to having that surgery was a lot. So for me, this is a big milestone to hit. Like each year, I think it's going to be in my mind that we went through that surgery. Just the kind of stuff that goes through your mind when you're watching your child have anaesthetic and be knocked out to have an operation. And you've got to do it, but it's really hard. And I think sometimes you've got to do hard things because they're the best thing for your child. You could this surgery, while really important, some people elect not to have it if it's not causing problems in their child at that point in time. But we were advised that it made more sense to have it done. Essentially, what was wrong with his lung, it was full of non-cancerous tumours, but that could have become cancerous later on. That's like, I don't want to take that chance. But at the same time, it was still sending a child who outwardly, I mean, you saw Ted roundabout that time, outwardly seemed absolutely fine. Like, to look at him, you would have had no idea that there was anything the matter with him. So sending a child who didn't actively seem ill for an operation was a really big deal. So I feel like it'll get easier each year as I move further away from it. But yeah, it's funny to look at him and just see how far we've come, of him having that surgery, how great he's doing now. But yeah, you were saying that it's about 1,000 days. It's 3 years exactly. So, is that 1,000? It's almost 1,000, isn't it?
I'm not a
Days
maths,
since it
not a
happened.
maths graduate. I'm not a math. I won't say any numbers to get criticized for it. That lady cannot count. No, but it's interesting what you say about keeping it to yourself. Well, I mean, why is that?
Mhm.
What do you want to shield him from, like that supposed to memory or?
I don't know if he actively
Okay.
remembers it. And he knows he had the surgery. If they're talking about like the human body and stuff at nursery, he'll say, I only have part of my left lung.
Oh, okay.
So he does understand that he had that removed. He sort of understands why, and he understands he can breathe better because it had it removed. But yeah, I guess like to him, he doesn't remember it. He knows it happened. So yeah, I just hadn't thought to mention it to him more than anything.
Yeah.
Because it's something that even though the surgery was on him, it was more happening to me, because if that makes sense, because he
No, it does.
wasn't really aware at 12 months old what he was going through. So, he went to hospital, he had some stuff done that he didn't like, and he's not the hugest fan of hospitals or doctors, which I think must be some sort of subconscious reaction to all of the like associations he has with the hospital. But yeah, I think it more happened to us because we had the stress associated with it, and the are we doing the right thing? Like, is he going to be okay? Whereas he went through the immediate pain and aftermath. But honestly, the way kids bounce back from a major surgery like that is crazy. He had morphine in hospital. A couple of days later, he was literally running around and just having paracetamol and ibuprofen.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I would have been in bed for a good while after that.
But I think it makes sense. I think kids, I don't know. I feel like they teach us things. I feel like they teach us something about. I don't know. Just kind of like I don't know if I don't think it's resilience, but maybe they teach us that life carries on. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe I try to read a lot into the things. But I do think they teach us something. They teach us about life. That life is constantly happening. They teach us about innocence. They teach us about to be amazed at what like things that we think are so ordinary. Teach us. My son. I mean, my kids teach me curiosity. I've always been curious, but now I realize that having children gives me the permission to be even more. Like I will. I remember I was where was I? Somewhere in the park somewhere by myself, not even with the kids, and someone was doing something, and everyone was walking past them as if it was normal. And I was so close to going up to go, what's that? Because I was like, this is clearly interesting, but the adults are so too adultish to ask you what's going on, even though I know everyone's thinking I can't remember what it was.
I'm a
But
bit weird. I would ask them.
yeah, because it's just, I think, but that's how kids are. My kids will never go past anyone doing anything interesting and not be like, what's that? So I love the permission we get from children to kind of be more of those things. I think it's beautiful.
I mean, we talk to random people quite a lot.
Oh,
When we're
yeah.
out and about.
Our favorite pastime, absolutely. Absolutely our favorite pastime, yeah. But it's good for them. Do you ever look at your children and realize they can also talk to people? And that's something they probably learned from all the times that you were like going on.
So Ted gets on the bus now and he says, "Return to town, please."
Oh dear. Oh, I love that. No, but it's no, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's funny because but then I think about people who are not maybe. I mean, we say we're confident, but then I think about people who are not maybe struggle with their confidence. I don't actually blame them. I think it just depends what stage of life that you're in. So I think sometimes people say, oh. Because I remember my mother-in-law recently was talking about this couple and she said about how they don't take the kids anywhere. And she was almost kind of like, not being slightly critical. And I remember saying, but you don't know how they're struggling with their confidence. Well, it's confidence to be able to talk to people. So let's not kind of, knock anyone down for it. Let's just kind of help people or I know give them a bit of extend some kind of like grace to them because it's just hard sometimes to be confident. It's something like I'm sure you've had to kind of work through, right? And I've had to as well go through some really difficult things to get to be this confident person. So, let's just let people carry
I
on and
think I always try and remember as well that some people, I like chatting to random people. Some
exactly.
people will be
Don't.
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
who is this woman? Why is she speaking to me? Like, go away."
And you're like, bye.
And if that's the case, fine, I get it. Some people, they'd probably rather die than just chat to some random person on the bus. But I'm one of the chatters in life, so.
No, but like, look at you now, podcasting. So I think it's just about everyone's different, and that's why I think again. I know we've talked about this, like the differences in children, differences in personality. Like I know my son would. The other day I was talking about there's a book we're reading. It says go up on the stage, and he was like, I don't want to go on the stage, and I thought, wow. But I was like, I know. But tell my daughter to go on the stage. You don't even need to ask her. She would run to the stage. So and I think again that's what I love about being a mom is this being able to guide someone through life because I'm constantly giving them feedback about themselves, and I know what he likes or what he's naturally inclined to, and I think that's amazing because imagine if we all got feedback throughout life because I've always loved reading, I've always loved books, I've always loved like content and stuff, but no one really told me earlier on. It took me so long, I think, to discover it. So imagine if we had like mothers like us potentially who are looking at our children and constantly like maybe giving them some feedback and working with them. I think it's incredible.
And kind of thinking about what they like and they're naturally good at and leaning into that.
Yeah.
We don't all have to be good at everything. We should probably, I can't remember who it was, somebody saying, like some, motivational type person. It might have been Mel Robbins, might have been because I do really like Mel. We don't have to be good at everything. We
Yeah.
don't have to try and be all round good at everything we turn our hands to. It's okay to lean into the things that you're actually good at and enjoy and not really worry about the stuff that we're not. You can always outsource some of that, work with somebody else who is good at those things. You don't have to be good at all. And I think confidence is a tricky one because I think it allows you to be yourself. I don't think it means necessarily being the person who wants to get up on stage or anything like that. You can be
Mm,
quietly confident,
I
and
love
that's really valuable as well. I think that you can, as long as you are happy in yourself and proud of your own abilities and you don't feel badly about yourself. But yeah, we don't all have to be up on the stage. And I think I'm thinking of us going to that panto just at Christmas, and they invited everybody else. They invited everyone up on the stage, didn't they? Like one at a time to go and see Santa. We were sitting in the front row, and you had to pick up your stuff because you were going to leave by a side door after you'd seen Santa. Ted was on that stage before I'd like picked all our bags up because he is a maniac.
Right.
Um, he ran straight up, but then he was overtaken by a bit of shyness at meeting Santa. So Santa asked him his name, and he just couldn't. He didn't tell him what his name was because he was so like. I guess it must be like meeting God or something
Yeah.
like that to meet Santa on stage. You're like, oh
Oh,
my God, I'm meeting the main
yeah,
man. Like, this
yeah,
is
yeah.
incredible. But yeah,
That's
he
funny.
ran up on that stage and then got there and was like,
Oops, might have overshot this. Oh, but it's beautiful seeing like different parts of them. I just think, gosh, like no, I think it's lovely. Like whatever they are, it's so beautiful, and I just stand back and admire it and come, just clap for them and let them carry on. No, I love being a parent. Maybe I overthink it as well, but I do love just the opportunity to be here and be part of this person's kind of, life and journey. And another milestone as well, guys. We recently, well, we're at 56 episodes now. So I don't know how we got there, but we did. We went from a Google Drive to speaking on here and then speaking to the Gina Miller.
the Gina
The
Miller,
Gina
which
Miller, guys.
I mean, yeah, I still can't believe that we've done that.
Yeah.
I really did. I know I said it at the time. I felt like Krishna Guru Murthy, that I was like, Channel 4
BBC, call
News.
Alex. And I'll tag along.
Just really funny talking to
Yeah.
somebody who was on the news so much at that kind of pivotal time of Brexit. And yeah, and she was so interesting.
Yeah, and down to earth, and if just felt like we're talking to someone we knew, there was no kind of as in like Jeremy. It was she was supernatural, super passionate, and I realized being like it's weird. I think the things that connect women, like motherhood, it's really helped me connect some people that outside of motherhood I probably could not have had anything in common with, and it's amazing how this sense of community can be found in being a mum, and I'm so grateful for it.
And how often are we just hopping on a call with people we don't know and talking to them
That's the
like we've
thing.
met them? We could be old friends and we jump on a call and talk to people we've never met before, find out loads about them, and I feel like build a rapport with people quite easily. But who'd have thought that when we were starting and we were like, what do we say to Sarah when we were talking to
No,
Sarah Madeira?
that
Madeira.
I know and it goes to show, I know we say it all the time, but honestly, it's starting is it's the thing. Once you start,
Do it.
yeah, just do it, get started, and then you will grow, you'll see yourself become, you will see yourself evolve. I mean, we've had so many incredible guests, and we're only getting started, and it's
We've got
just.
plans, haven't we?
Oh, we have plans.
We have
But yeah, just
plans.
pray for us. We got plans. um, so yeah, it's certainly been a journey. But Gina was amazing. She was so passionate about women and advocating for financial empowerment, and another mother herself. And I think what I got from Gina was like just the power we have as mothers to impact change. Just the fact that you're a mother, you can make a difference, because you care, because you have this passion from that thing that you're connected to. She fights for a daughter, and she fought as if economic someone who's been through economic abuse. And I just think it's just your experience and looking around you. Sometimes that's how you start to find your passion. But she was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, definitely. And just so cool that she was willing to come on the podcast. I feel like really big milestone for us to have somebody as kind of well known as Gina. We've had so many fabulous guests, but I think, yeah, for me, that felt like a huge milestone. It was
Oh,
really exciting.
no, definitely. I think, yeah, she was just, yeah, it was really good. But yeah, that's the season of life we're in.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, I was thinking about also like what we've been learning recently. So many
Okay.
things are changing and growing. So for me personally, we're at the stage where we recently got some wardrobes to our house. And I was just reflecting on how just the journey and this idea that sometimes we don't know how to celebrate where we are because we got some wardrobes recently, but when we moved to this house about 4 years ago, it was like empty. I remember we had like a strip of carpet. We didn't have sofas for ages. We didn't have blinds. We had curtains, and it's interesting how you one day get to the stage where you've always wanted to, but you don't actually give yourself the chance to celebrate that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of thinking, "Oh, how far have I come?" We're so good at sort of looking further down the line to where we want to go to next.
Like next, next, next,
Yeah,
next.
just moving
Yeah.
the goalposts, and it's like sometimes it's just nice to just, just stand still and appreciate it. Like even with my ambition, look how far we've come in our dressing gown, with tiredness, with the kids around us,
We're
and
doing a dressing gown one today, though, aren't we?
we really are. Sometimes it's just gotta keep it, kind of keep it real. You won't be seeing the video, by the way, but but I
I
think yeah,
look less bad than I thought I was going to look. So I'm happy with
there you
the video.
go. But yeah, just this idea of, let's just take this moment in, 1,000 followers, 56 episodes, talking to Gina Miller. Our kids are 4. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we're
And that's a
where?
year, pretty much, since we started recording.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I don't know. We need to find out the exact date, but it was around about this time.
Yeah. So lots have happened and we're still here. And I feel like we're only just getting started as well. I don't feel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's interesting. I suppose this is how you feel when you're doing something that you're interested in, or maybe I hate that word sometimes passion because I feel like everyone's looking for it, right? But maybe it's something you're passionate about. It's almost feel like you're being poured out, but you feel like I have got even more. Like I could do a
Mm-hmm.
million more episodes. Like I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
Let's
but
definitely do it.
yeah, so it's interesting. I always think sometimes, like, how then do we discover that thing that we're passionate about enough to then get to do something that we could do all the time?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think sadly, sorry guys, I don't have the formula. You thought I did, but I don't.
I don't either. I feel like this for me was a New Year's resolution last year. And so I'm pretty pleased that like a year later we're still doing it. We're still really enjoying it. Like you say, I feel like we're just getting started.
Yeah.
I like, you're not really into New Year's resolutions, but I kind of like that
Yeah.
thinking about where I'd like to go with things, and kind of planning ahead. I know we've got loads of ambitions for where we take my ambition. And yeah, I think just having an eye on the future, but celebrating the wins as you go.
Yeah. No, absolutely. There's definitely, we need to strike that balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always easy, but it's weird. I think because sometimes I do think I try to think to myself, okay, what's the formula here? Like, actually, let's think about the formula because obviously,
Okay.
Alex, you and I met, right? Like, let's just think
Mm-hmm.
about if someone's listening to this and they're thinking, okay, this girl's obviously doing something they're interested about. It's such an interesting thing. I'm a mom too. I have children too, but I want to do something interesting. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
but how did you guys get to where you are with this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking,
Well, I think thinking back to it. So we had met before, but we kind of got to know each other a bit more during the pandemic.
yes,
Having kids so close together, it's like a bit of a bonding thing.
yeah,
Ended up doing baby groups together, but then I think we quite quickly realised that we both wanted a bit more. We were both thinking and discovering and like
yes,
really focusing on how motherhood was changing us. And so we had like seeds of an idea for something pre-ambition, didn't we? But
yeah,
we didn't know where we wanted to take it.
yeah.
And then, I mean, one of the things that happened was I got really into listening to podcasts.
Yeah, same.
And during that time, I thought, I'm quite good at talking. I could do this.
Same. Same. Yes.
I could do this. Who
Yeah.
else would be good at doing this?
Who else likes to
Honestly,
chat?
there was no one else on my list apart from you that I thought would like really be like who would go for it. You were like my one and only, my first choice. Like it was all about you. I was like, Tiffany would be really good at this. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, I mean, as well, you didn't even take any persuading. I was like,
Oh,
you doing a podcast? And you were like, yes.
yeah, no, but it's true. I think that is very true. I think when I think about it as well, like obviously moving to Northeast, I think sometimes what I would say definitely there's that sense of life would do what life does as well, though I don't think we can control. Because for me, what are the chances that we moved to Northeast? What are the chances
Yeah.
that you knew my husband like before? What are the chances that we moved during the
You've been
pandemic?
pregnant at the
We're
same
pregnant at the same
time.
time. So I do think, sometimes it's just about connecting the dots. And I think sometimes, we all have to maybe sit down and maybe just think about our lives, where we're going, where we're coming from. And maybe in that dots that we're not necessarily controlling, things will work out. So trust the universe, trust God, trust whatever you believe in, right? We moved to Northeast. I met you through Mark. What are the chances that we'd be pregnant at a similar time? What are the chances that it was a pandemic when maybe if it wasn't a pandemic, we wouldn't have
Yeah.
connected because you'd be doing your own baby stuff and I'll be doing my own. What are the
Yeah.
chances that we both had this sense of ambition and spoke about it together as well? Like, again, speaking out loud about maybe what you want, because some people don't do that. If I only spoken to you about the weather or like, we might not have come
Yeah.
upon that. And that's just also, I think, the sense of the preparation in your life and the things that you are that maybe you didn't appreciate, reflecting on that as well. I mean, you said your teacher told you talk too much. I mean, thank you,
I'm
miss.
laughing
No,
because
but it's true. But like, that was something that was probably always there, like, you can talk, for a living. And I probably consider the same. So I just think all these things kind of came together. But again, there might be someone out there who people have said something about you that sounds like a critique,
oh, I
but
mean, it was definitely not intended as a positive from my teacher.
look at you now. I mean, not everyone can do this. Not everyone can freely, flowingly talk to a stranger about something and connect with them and be laughing at the end. So I do think in all of us there is something. I think sometimes we just need to sit down and reflect or just see what people have said about us. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think putting yourself out there is, I'm listening to Mel Robbins shout out again. I would love to get her on here one day.
Oh, Mel, girl.
Masculine, female. But yeah, so I'm listening to Let Them, and the whole philosophy of
Yeah.
it is like, people are going to talk about you. People are going to talk about you anyway. People are going to say negative things like, God, that woman talks far too much. They're going to say it anyway. Let them do it. That doesn't impact on you. If you want to do something, do it. Don't worry about what people are going to say. Let them say it. I mean, I'm just thinking there, like, we've got a friend, and this is, I doubt he's ever put Ambition on, but he loves to say when we're like at a party or something together, should we put Ambition on? He's just joking.
They were like,
He's winding me up.
are you for real? Because you should. Like, I know.
Yeah. So, hey Logan, if ever you listen to this, but I knew when we started that people would be like, what are these two doing starting a podcast?
That's true.
But I thought,
Yeah.
let them do it.
I mean, sometimes I do. No, you know what? It's sometimes I still sometimes. What are you doing, starting podcast? But you know what? The response I get from that is, why not? And I just think that then tells me that yes, girl, get out there.
We've got people listening to us. We've got people messaging us.
The kids are listening as well. The only listeners, the children.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we could have listened to that inner critic. We could have listened to imagining what our friends were going to say and what our friends were actually saying. We could have listened to that. We could have let that stop us, but we didn't. And I think that there's power in that, because when people are like, people now will be like, oh, who have you got coming on now? And like, I think they were surprised that anyone was willing to come on our podcast. And I'm not being funny. I was a little surprised anyone was willing to come on at first. And now I'll message anyone and say, do you fancy coming on my podcast? Like, I am not worried about doing that. And there are certain people that in the next 12 months, will get on this podcast. I'm not going to drop names, but I will.
Love it. No, but this is it. You start, and life is just passing us by anyway. And it does. If you do it, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't do it. It doesn't matter, but it matters. I've said this. I find, I know it's a bit sort of dark, or morbid. I live quite close to a graveyard, and I know that again. Sorry, guys. I know I'm a bit intense, but every time I go for a run, I walk past this. I run past this graveyard, and I always stop because I always think, look, like there are people in there, and they're not coming back. And what I mean, someone once said, and there's someone said, the most wealthiest place is the graveyard because it's full of dreams and goals that were never realized. And gosh, I mean,
Oh,
that
wow.
motivates me because I always think, look, if and again, it sounds morbid. So sometimes I just think to myself, like, I'll be dead one day. You'll be dead one day. Sorry, but like, like, so what you think of me won't matter because we'll be dead. And then it's like, will I then waste my life not doing the things I want to do because I'm worried what you think about me when I'll be dead anyway? And like my sister said as well, in 2 generations, we'll be forgotten anyway. So listen, just do it.
Yeah,
Just do
just do
it.
it.
All right.
Sponsored by Nike.
Oh, Nike coming for you, honey boo. Listen, drop it, they'll come. Love that. Oh, guys, we just love this one-to-one, I think.
I love
Yeah,
catching up with you. It's been really
definitely.
nice.
Definitely. Don't forget to like, subscribe,
Oh,
share,
well done.
follow. What else
Smash
is
that
there?
like button.
Smash. I love the smash. Like, why do you smash a button? Do you like, you like jump on it? You like break your
Honestly,
computer whilst you're doing it, or what's the?
just what Ted shouts. But
Yeah.
honestly, it's so funny watching them be media literate these days. He's like, oh,
Oh
you can
yeah.
get 15% off on Kids Learning Trip merch. And I'm like, you don't need any of their merch. Come on.
15% off. At least he's trying to save. That's good.
He doesn't know what that means.
15% off.
Oh my God. Like,
Oh,
shush.
oh,
Well,
bless
anyway,
you.
guys, we
Thank
haven't
you.
got any merch.
Yet. Let's just get off before like you guys think we're just a bit mad than what you thought we were.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that ship has sailed. But anyway, thanks,
exactly.
guys. It's
Thank
been
you.
fun.
Thank you for entertaining us, allowing us to be mad as well
Yeah,
and be our
yeah.
real self.
Embrace your mad self, I think, is like,
Definitely.
yeah.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye, guys.